Hi, today is January 1st, 2024. I can't believe we're in January already. Hopefully this year will be a better year than the last year, even though the last year wasn't the worst year of my life. It's always nice. I keep writing letters to my children. They never reach out to me. They're so brainwashed to believe everything. They won't even want to know the truth. He's got them where he can control them. Do you ever feel so screwed up in your mind? That's how I feel. Screwed up in my head. That's what custody does to you in parental alienation. No one's supportive. I have 3 children. I have no relationship with them. Or because my ex-husband won't let me talk to them. And every year that goes by, he brainwashes them more and more, to the point where they want nothing to do with me. I keep writing them letters. All the time I write letters. No one ever listens though. Responds, even though he's almost 18. Parental alienation hurts the children as much as it hurts the parent. You know, they have this 4,000 square foot house that his mother paid for. And he's telling them, Baca is telling my children they're not allowed to talk to their mother. This has been going on for 8 years. 8 horrible, long years. For 8 Christmases, I haven't had my children. I haven't been able to talk to them. I don't know what their grades are. I don't know what they want to do in college. I don't know who their friends are. If they've ever been hurt, he's never told me. He can take them out of the country, he doesn't have to tell me. You're like, well, how did he get all that? Well, Edmund Pariah, was a really corrupt lawyer. He had a therapist, Jack John Schooley, tell the court that he saw my children during COVID. Wouldn't allow my kids to testify whether that was true or not. And he said that my kids told him that I abused them. Why would my children say something that's not true? And it was my word against his. They wouldn't let the children testify. So basically they can say whatever they want and say the kids said it. But if the children aren't allowed to testify, who's going to know whether it's the truth or not? So kids will not talk to me. They want nothing to do with me. You can't believe as a mother how much that hurts. To never see your boys. They won't talk to me, and that hurts me so much. Nothing I do changes anything. Could write them 1,000 letters. It doesn't change anything. They don't want to go against their father. They don't want to go against their grandparents. They prefer piece of you is missing when you don't get to talk to your children. I know how it feels to have your heart broken. I know how it feels to have your heart hurt so much. And to be betrayed by someone you trusted. This woman he's with now, he's going to do the exact same thing to her as he did to me. He's going to do the exact same thing. Child support, he doesn't even pay for their phone. His mother gave him the $100,000 down payment on his house. His uncle Daniel Baca gave him his job. He said everything handed to him. He lived rent-free with his father for 3 years and said he had no money while he lived rent-free. They bribe my children with expensive iPhones and expensive electronics and crappy vacations. And tell them if they talk to me, they're going to lose everything. They're going to lose their college fund. They're going to lose their inheritance. They're not going to get any more phones. So my children won't go against them. To see their mom hurt than to go against their father, their grandfather. He's been brainwashing them for 8 years, since 2016. He's done everything to sabotage my relationship with my boys. He wouldn't even let me go to Connor and Caden's communion, Colin and Caden's communion. And I'm the one that picked out the communion outfit. I was shut out of everything. I live 1 hour away and I can't see my kids. 1 hour. I think over the years I've cried buckets. Cried and cried and cried. You get so hurt that you feel numb. You don't feel anything anymore. The numbness just takes over. Trying to teach my children to call me by my first name. To break that bond, to break that relationship. My children don't know what he's doing. And it doesn't seem like they want to know either. You know? It seems like they're content with the way things are. They don't want to change anything. They like things just the way they are. They don't want any relationship with their mom. My emotions have been all over the place. I go from crying my eyes out to... There was a time when I thought I used to cry. If I cried enough, then I wouldn't need to cry anymore. He doesn't hug my children. He doesn't tell them he loves them. He doesn't tell them their mother loves them. get any hugs. My children were so loving, so caring. He just wants them to be narcissists like him. But my kids won't reach out to me. They won't talk to me. They don't want a relationship with their mother. I can't tell you how hurt I've been over the years. Hurt. If I didn't care, I could have walked away. Instead, I choose to go to school. He kicked me out of the house. So I had to live in my car for 2.5 years. Then he tried to take the car from me. I had to pay half of the outrageous repairs for the house, even though I had no say in nothing. He claimed that he had all this money in the 401k. He didn't have to prove anything. Just evil. He said I broke into the house when he was the one that kicked in the front door of the house. And then he used the pictures that I took when he kicked in the front door to use them against me, saying I broke into the house. If anybody knows Paul Brian Baca that works in Sandia, that lives in Red Bloom Road in Albuquerque, he's a narcissist. He's pure evil narcissist. And his mother, Vera Ginny Schulte, is just as evil. And Samuel Baca, they're all narcissists. They put out this public persona like they're great people. That's the public persona. It's like politicians. They have a public persona and then they have a private persona. You know, his mother accused his father of molesting the children, and then the court left my children, Connor, Caden and Colin, stay with the grandfather for 3 years. You know, when his mother and his father went through their divorce, I stood by him. Do you think he stood by me? No. He gave everything up for his father, because that was Samuel Baca's wishes. And Ginny Schulte went along with it. She's got a new boyfriend now, but he has no clue what she's like. I would tell him run, but he has to learn that for himself. I wrote to Michelle Lujan Gresham 5 times. Do you think she ever helped? Instead, she called his mother a humanitarian. She's not a humanitarian. She is the furthest thing from a humanitarian. Vera Ginny Schulte, a park above, is definitely not a humanitarian. She has got a public persona and a private persona, and they're completely different. 8 years. 8 long years I've been dealing with this. He tried to destroy me. He tried to tell the court I was a drug addict. He had a picture of a woman that looked like me panhandling in Eubank, and he told the court that that was me and I was a drug addict with my drug addict boyfriend. I mean, I have to give him props. The woman looked just like me. It was not a face profile, it was a side profile. I mean, he should have gotten freaking props. The woman, I had to take a second look. But I looked at the shoes and I knew it wasn't me. And I looked at her bag and it wasn't mine. Everything else looked the same. My hair was the same. My body was the same, except it wasn't me. Paul Brian Baca, that lives in Red Bloom Road, is a narcissist. His ego is so big. The only reason he got a job at Sandia Lab is because his uncle Danny works there. He couldn't get a job anywhere else. For the people that worked in Los Alamos and worked with him, he told me that the only people that get, ahead at that Los Alamos are the people that are the women that give the boss blowjobs, or the guys that look up to the bosses. He claimed that Everything he did was perfect. Everything he did was perfect. How come he couldn't get a reference? Can you believe a grown freaking ass man lived with his father rent-free for 3 years? And then he had his mother put $100,000 down on the house. The 4,000 square foot house that he said he had no money for. He's teaching my children to be just like him. He doesn't hug my kids. He doesn't kiss my kids. He hides every picture they've ever seen of me. Instead of telling the children that their mother loves them, he has the kids running away from me. Connor told me that he's not allowed to talk to me. Who tells the children? The court order says that the boys can reach out to me anytime. Yet he's over there, Paul Brian Baca, Red Bloom Road, telling the children in Albuquerque they're not allowed to talk to me. I haven't been able to go to their school. I don't know what their grades are. He can take them out of the country. He doesn't have to ask my permission. He's got 100% rights, physical and legal. I've got nothing. You tell me how that's right and how that's fair. It's all about control. He's scaring the children so that they won't talk to me. He's got all his neighbors turned against me. He calls the police anytime I go there. He turned the hose on me the last time. He gets restraining orders. He's done everything he can to hurt me and hurt my relationship. And I can only tell you the long-term damage he's doing to the Connor, Caden and Colin. Connor's almost 18. Caden is 15 and Colin just turned 14. For 8 years this has been going on and I can't do nothing. I can't afford a lawyer anymore. Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to get involved. The people that can do something want $400 an hour and a $5,000 retainer. I'm paying child support for children I can't even see. He doesn't even pay their phone bill. He has his father paying their phone bill. He told the court that I was harassing my children when I tried to reach out to them. There's no justice. Michelle Lujan Gratian didn't want to do anything. Fernandez didn't want to do nothing. Nobody wants to do anything. No one wants to help. No one that has the financial means wants to help. So I'm basically on my own. Everybody from Turquoise Trail, they all either stood by him or just washed their hands of it. Teachers wanted nothing. Basically, I was thrown out like I was garbage. I've done everything. I've written thousands of letters to my children. And I never get a response. I become so used to it. Connor, Caden and Colin will never reach out to me. They told me they're going to throw all the expensive school supplies, they were going to throw them all in the trash that I'd been collecting for years. My kids have no memories of me. He just wants to erase me from their lives. I have no rights as a mother. There's nothing I can do unless I can get a lawyer to help me. And I don't have any more money for lawyers. All they do is take your money. I don't have any more. He said I abused my children. He told John Jack Scully, a therapist in Albuquerque, told the court that my children saw him during COVID. He didn't produce any records, nothing to show that that's true. I'd love to have seen the records of if all the times that he saw the children. He he said to the court that my children told him that I was abusive, that I'd lock him outside the door and I would do all these things. Connor was afraid that I was going to kidnap him. I mean, I had a most amazing relationship with my boys. Now I have nothing. Instead of having beautiful memories of my boys for the last 8 years, I don't have any memories at all. I used to take pictures of my kids all the time. I used to turn them into Christmas cards and I used to turn them into canvases. I haven't been able to do that. I don't have any support system. Even if my family were around, they wouldn't be the best support. They kind of live a bit naive as to things in America. You know, I used to think the same way. You play nice, you be honest, and you get, but it doesn't work like that in court. It seems like the more you lie, the more you get away with. Especially if you have a corrupt lawyer, Edmund Perea, or Edmund Pariah as I like to call him. His father is evil. He threw away his marriage just to appease his father. All that trust, everything gone down the drain. I would never trust him ever again. There's nothing there. I can only imagine what he's doing to the children. They don't know him. Like the court doesn't know him. He's got really bad anger issues. If I had a decent lawyer that could help me, and even when I tried to get a lawyer, they told me I was lucky if I get breadcrumbs, because most of the time I went to court, the lawyers never lasted long. They just want to bleed you dry. I went to the state bar to get a lawyer, and the lawyer that contacted me wanted a $3,000 retainer, and then for the hearing they wanted an additional $8,000, and that was on top of the $2,000 that I had to pay Armand Carrion. And at the end of it, I got nothing. I was told that the children can reach out to me if they want, but no one told the children that they could reach out to me. And he's over there, Paul Brian Baca, that works in Sandia, telling the children they're not allowed to talk to me. What are the consequences that are going to happen if the kids reach out to me? That's what I want to know. What are the consequences? All the bribes they give them, they're all going to go away. The inheritance, the college fund, they're all going to go away. All I'm trying to do is just contact my boys. Let it be their decision if they want to talk to me or not. Not his decision, but let it be my children's decision. They're not babies anymore. He can't control them anymore. You know? He can't put fear in them that he's been doing. I've done everything. I mean, I've written so many letters. All my letters are on Instagram. If anybody reads them, I don't know. It's the most hurtful thing a parent can do to another parent is use the children to hurt that parent. The kids don't, I mean, whether they know, whether they don't know, they're just going along with it because they're under his roof. So they've no choice to go along with it. They won't reach out to me. He doesn't even pay for their phone. I mean, what does he do with the child support that I give him? I don't know. Spends it on his girlfriend. I can't even FaceTime my own children. I have no rights. Can you imagine what that does to a mother? Tears you apart as a mom. To have no rights with your children. My kids could be in hospital. He doesn't have to tell me. They could be, God forbid, on life support. He doesn't have to tell me. You can take him out of the country. He doesn't have to tell me. He's got full legal rights and I've got nothing. Thanks to Armand Carrion and Stephen Clump and their corrupt lawyer. They said I have no proof of anything. But how can I have any proof if I never see my children? Where am I going to get the proof? Taylor Swift, if you're listening, if you have a few bucks left over, do you mind helping me with a lawyer? Because I don't have any money anymore. That would be really nice. Bono, if you're listening, maybe you can help me. I don't know. Damage has already been done. I'm a horrible person apparently. My kids want nothing to do with me. What do you do? As a mother, what do you do? Doesn't feel like January. The sun is shining. It's supposed to be 49 degrees today. Kids never reached out to me when my father died. They never reached out to me. When I came back from Ireland and I was at the airport, there was no one there to greet me. I was on my own. When I went to Ireland, I saw all their cousins. All the other cousins were there except my children. Tell everybody it was a last minute thing so my kids couldn't come. My children don't even respect me enough to reach out. They have no respect for me anymore. Because I can't give them what these parents can give them. I don't have a 4,000 square foot house. They wouldn't be getting the latest electronics. They'd be getting used phones. I grew up, I didn't have much, but I never thought I was missing anything because everybody around us was poor. My mother had nothing. My mom was a stay-at-home mother of 10 children. We grew up in a farm. I had to milk the cows before I went to school, milk the cows after school. And then when my dad died, I didn't get anything. Everything went to my sister and my brother. Everything I have had, I had to fend for myself. I went to school after my divorce. During the custody, I could have turned to drugs, and I never did. I chose to go back to school. Got my paralegal degree. Couldn't get a job because everybody wanted you to have experience. Then I got my business degree. Then I was told everyone has a business degree. So basically I've spent 5 years in school for nothing. I was told by Stephen Clump that I should work at Burger King. I wonder if Paul Brian Baca ever worked at Burger King. I'm a mess. Inside, I'm a mess. I'm broken. My heart is broken. My mind is broken. My trust is broken. Everything's broken. I kept waiting for a light under the tunnel. Like the last 8 years, I was waiting for a light. I used to pray all the time because that's what my mom did. But then I stopped because I figured God was too busy doing all the other things in the world. So I stopped going to church. I didn't want to go there because I'd gone there all the time with my children. And I didn't want to go there and see other children in church. I used to cry so much. I cried all the time. I went into really bad depression. awake. All they have to do is find out the truth for themselves. I'm sure they have all these questions. They don't reach out to me because they're afraid to go against their father. I used to have so much anger inside of me, so much hurt and so much anger, so much pain. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want anyone to ask me if I had children. It was just easier for me to stay away from everybody because I didn't have any good news to tell them. I thought things would change. I don't know what he's telling my children because they won't talk to me. So I don't know what's in their minds. I don't know why they run away from me because they won't talk to me. There's no help for parental alienation. No one helps you. There's no support system. You're told to go to a bereavement group. That's what the church told me to do, Santa Maria de la Plaza. Go to a bereavement group because that's all they had to offer. If you're going through a custody, don't go to the court for justice because you won't get it. Stephen Klump won't give you justice. He puts all the children in the same. He doesn't even know what any of the kids look like. He doesn't want to see their picture. He told me I could see my children, Connor, Caden and Colin, every Sunday from 12 to 6 because Paul Brian Baca missed the hearing. And then he had his corrupt lawyer tell the court that he never got any notice of the hearing. So everything that I had been awarded, everything got thrown out. So it just went from bad to worse. I haven't seen my boys. The court order says they can reach out to me, but he's over there telling them, Paul Brian Baca, in Albuquerque, Red Bloom Road, they're not allowed to talk to their mother. My kids are scared to death to go against their father. I can't go to the school. I'm not on the list. Even though his father told Armin Carrion that I went to the school and I was in the playground. Everything was my word against theirs. I don't get to hug my kids anymore. I don't get to kiss my children. I'm a stranger to them. Not a loving parent. I'm a stranger. Nobody wants to help. No lawyer wants to get involved unless you have tons of money. Then once the money runs out, they don't want any to help you anymore. So Bono, if you're listening, if you can help, I'd appreciate it. Or Taylor Swift, maybe you can help me. Because I don't have millions of dollars in the bank. I'm paying child support for children I can't even see. He doesn't even pay for their phone. Is his father paying for the phone so that he can control if I call or not? I don't know who my children's friends are. I don't know what time they go to bed. I don't know what they watch on TV. I have no rights as a mother. Nobody wants to do anything. I've had the door slammed in my face. I can't tell you how many times. Everybody shuts their shoulders and say, sorry. I don't want to hear sorry. I don't care if you're sorry. Sorry doesn't mean crap to me. If you care. And then I had this woman at Dillard's that I was friends with. She's like, oh, there has to be somebody. There has to be someone. I'm like, you know somebody? Then you can let me know about them. Well, there has to be. It's like, she's telling me there has to be somebody, but she doesn't know anyone. And she's not offering to look for that somebody. find praying does nothing. What's the point in praying? God never answers. I remember how many times I used to ask God for a sign. Just send me a sign that you're listening. Just give me a sign. There was never any sign. Made you question everything that you were raised to believe. My mom was deeply religious. I thought my sister was going to be a nun. What's the point in praying and you want a sign from God that is listening and you don't get it? Just want one of my children to reach out and say, Mom, I miss you. They're never going to do that because they're so brainwashed. They prefer to hurt their mother than to go against their father, their grandparents, because they think they're safer with him and his parents than they are with me. They feel like I'm going to kidnap them. I'm going to do all these awful things. I used to go to court. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve, and it never helped me. I had a really hard time controlling my emotions, and it just went all against me. You know, you go to court, and everything that you know, everything just comes to the surface. All your feelings, your emotions just come to the surface. I would have moved on like he did, and I would have had a boyfriend and just moved on. I never moved on. I'm super cautious about who I get involved with. You know, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. So it's not about what you say, it's about your actions. So if you care about someone, you have to show them. Words mean nothing. People can say all the words they want. They don't mean anything to me. It's hot today, isn't it? It's hot. This is enough for now. Talk to you again later, okay? But if you know someone, when you live in New Mexico, you know somebody that can help parental alienation, would be amazing. If you don't want to do it for me, do it for my children. Because I know that they're going to grow up and they're going to be damaged. They're already angry at me. They're hurt and they're angry. They haven't been able to talk to me. So all the questions they have, they never get answered. As a mother, if I even still feel like a mom, for the most part I don't. everybody wanted me to move back to Ireland, and I said I'd be further away from my children. Even though I'm in Santa Fe and I don't see my kids, it's hard for me to move away and be even further away from them, even though I don't ever see them. I would see them if they reached out to me. They asked me, they told me they wanted me to see them. That would be going against their father, the narcissist, and their grandparents, who were also narcissists. I just pray that this year is going to be the year my children reach out to me. That's what my prayer is for this year. That my kids will reach out to their mom. They'll stop being afraid. Hard time being around other people because I don't want people to start talking about their families. I don't have good family relationships. You know, I've been away from everybody for so long. He doesn't have good family relationships either. My kids don't see me as family anymore. They don't see me as their mom. Cry so much. I would cry and cry and cry. I was so broken. I was so hurt. I still am. It just takes one person to care. Like one person to reach out and say, I want to make a difference. Don't do it for me, do it for my kids. Don't want my children growing up and turning to drugs, you know, because that's what happens when kids, you know, all they're hearing is one story for the last 8 years. I'm just hurt. I'm very hurt. My children are even more hurt. I don't have anybody in New Mexico. My kids are all I have, and they don't even want me. You know what it feels like to know your own flesh and blood doesn't even want you. What their grades are. I don't know who their friends are. I don't know what their hopes and dreams are. I can't even have a conversation with them. I'm not allowed. All it takes is one person to make a difference. One person. You know how long I've been putting my story out there? Forever. So I wanted people to know. I wanted people to by putting my story out there, it would bring awareness. But apparently, everyone's too busy with all the other stuff going on. I'm just a little pea in the pod, or pea in the ocean. Paul Brian Baca wanted to make my life so hard so that I'd commit suicide. And then my children would never know the truth. That's how he wanted to damage me. He almost succeeded too. And I was never going to take my own life. Because I never wanted to leave this earth, and not talk to my children. All the private things you tell them in a marriage, everything came out in the wash. Like all the private stuff that I had told him, used it all against me. He said I starved my son because Caden wouldn't eat baby food. He said I locked my kids outside the door. Calling outside the door. Basically, I'm a horrible mother. He told Connor I was going to kidnap him. What do you do? Anything if my children don't want to reach out to me. Connor, Caden, and Colin don't want to reach out to me. I can't do nothing. I'm trying to put it out there. I don't know if they read any of my letters. I don't know when I'm ever going to hear from my kids again. Worried about the long-term damage. Just because they have more money and a bigger house doesn't make them better people. I'm just broken. There's only so much a person can take. Only hold on to hope for so long, and then after a while, but when you don't have a support system, it doesn't get any easier. Can't make them want to see their mom. That has to come from them. They don't want it then. As each year goes by, you just pray and hope. But it's up to them. It's up to Caden, Colin, and Connor. They want to reach out to me. They want to ask me questions. They want to know the truth for themselves. They have to reach out. All right. I'm going to talk to you again on the way home. Caden, Colin, everybody out there, wish you a happy new year. May all your hopes and dreams come true. May anyone's pain be lessened this year or taken away. May the wars around the world stop. And Connor, Caden, and Colin, hope you find peace in your hearts to reach out to your mom and to talk to me at least. I don't think I'm asking for that much. You only get one mother. There's so many kids out there that would love a mom. And you have a mother that loves you. You can't let anybody stand in your way. You can't let anyone destroy that, even if it's your own father, your grandparents. If you care about your mother and you want a relationship with her, all you have to do is reach out. I don't bite. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to kidnap you. I don't know what he's telling you that I'm going to do, but it's not going to happen. Alright. I love you and leave you. Kisses. Okay, Happy New Year, everybody. Love you.